My beloved child, I see you. I have always seen you. I see the years that have shaped your bones, the sorrows that have pressed on your chest, and the moments of strength you hardly noticed because they came in whispers, not roars. You who have walked through decades of joy and pain, do not think for a moment that I have overlooked you or set you aside. I have planted something within you, something eternal and unshakable. It is courage, and it was placed there by my very hand. Before you were formed in the womb, I knew you. I crafted you not just with breath and bone, but with purpose. Within that purpose, I embedded courage, even if you've never named it as such. Some days, it has felt small, like a spark. Other days it has burned quietly, unnoticed beneath your grief, your fatigue, or your questions. But I tell you now, that spark is divine. It is not something you must earn. It is not dependent on your age or your abilities. It is a gift from me, a seed planted with intent. Do not measure this courage by what the world calls bravery. The world prizes the loud, the bold, the fearless. But I am not looking for a parade of strength that shouts. I look for the kind of courage that breathes quietly when the night is long. The courage that speaks a prayer when your body aches, that forgives a wound decades old, that wakes up each morning and chooses to keep walking, even slowly. That, my child, is my courage in you. There are many who believe that old age is a season of decline, of endings. But I tell you, age is not retreat. It is a deepening. The world may see fading, but I see ripening. You are ripening into a wisdom that only comes with years lived in my presence, even when you didn't realize I was near. And within that ripening is a courage unlike any other. A courage that grows not from might, but from endurance, from trust, from knowing finally that you cannot do it all, and that you never needed to. You only needed me. Let me speak clearly now, and do not let your heart dismiss this truth. The seed of courage within you is still alive. It has not withered. It has not vanished beneath the layers of years, nor been smothered by disappointment or loss. I see it. I remember when I placed it there, and I am tending it even now. You may feel tired. Your body may not move the way it once did. Your voice may not carry with the same force. Your hands may tremble. But child, I do not measure courage by physical strength. I measure it by the quiet persistence of faith. I measure it by your yes, your willingness to still believe, to still pray, to still love, even when love has cost you dearly. Do not let the enemy convince you that your time has passed. The world may no longer applaud your steps, but heaven watches them with reverence. Every time you choose to speak kindness when bitterness would be easier, I see you. Every time you rise from your chair and whisper my name with hope in your heart, I am there. That too is courage, and it is beautiful to me. Remember the times you didn't think you'd make it, and yet you did? The days you walked through shadows of fear, not knowing if the light would ever return? You carried on. You kept breathing. You didn't quit. That was my courage, alive in you, whether you knew it or not. Some of you have carried pain in silence, longings unspoken, wounds that were never fully healed. And yet you stayed faithful. You kept seeking me. You held on to hope, even with trembling hands. My child, do not call that weakness. Call it what it truly is. Holy courage. It is sacred. It is rare. And I honor it. I know the temptation that creeps in during quiet hours, the voice that says you've become invisible, that your best days are behind you, that you have nothing more to offer. But that voice is a lie. You are seen. You are still called. And my work in you is not finished. I do not plant seeds for nothing. When I place courage in a soul, it is meant to bloom, even in the winter of life. Do not be afraid of your vulnerability. It is not shameful. It is holy ground. It is where I draw closest. I have always chosen the humble, the lowly, the aged, the overlooked. Because in your weakness, my strength shines brightest. In your surrender, my courage roars. You need not pretend to be strong, you only need to be willing. Let me do the rest. So I invite you now, return to the seed. Return to the courage I gave you long ago. Water it with remembrance. Feed it with prayer. Protect it with truth. Speak to me about your doubts, your weariness, your fears. I am listening. I always have been. Your age is not a barrier. It is a blessing. You carry the years of my faithfulness etched into your soul, and I will use every single one of them for glory if you let me. The world may not understand this quiet courage of yours, but I do, and I am proud of you. Yes, proud. You are not forgotten. You are not useless. You are not done. You are a bearer of my courage, and your journey still matters. Now take a breath and feel my presence. It surrounds you still. Let that seed awaken. Let it grow. For I am with you, and I always will be. My child, now that you have remembered the seed of courage I placed in your soul, let me show you how to nurture it. You do not need to perform grand acts or chase a noisy world to find strength. The world may teach you to prove your worth with action and loud declarations, but I speak to you now with a gentler truth. True courage is fed in the quiet, in the stillness, in the simple act of turning your heart toward me. I am not far from you. I never have been. And I do not wait for you in cathedrals alone or in busy gatherings. I am waiting in the quiet corners of your day, in the hush of early morning light, in the silence of the room where you sit, in the long pauses between your thoughts. This is where the seed I planted is watered, not by noise, not by effort, but by presence, my presence, and your willingness to come close. You may think, Lord, my prayers feel small now. My strength has faded. My words don't flow like they used to. But listen, child. I have never asked for perfect words. I do not need eloquence. I only need your heart. Turn toward me. When you whisper my name, I hear it louder than the shouts of 1,000 crowds. When you pause in your daily routine, even for a moment, to remember me, I come close. I draw near. I settle around you like the morning dew. That is where your courage begins to grow again. Many of you have served me faithfully in active ways, teaching, leading, helping others. And now, in this season of life, you may feel like your hands are still, your impact quieter. But do not think I value you any less. In fact, in this season, your spirit becomes fertile ground for deeper things, for intimacy, for communion, for a courage that rises from within. Rooted not in what you do, but in who you are with me. Come to me, my beloved, in the hidden moments of your day. When the house is quiet, when the sun has set, when the weight of loneliness or memory presses on your chest. That is when I am most ready to speak. That is when you are most open to hear. And what I say to you will not always be loud or dramatic. Sometimes it will come like a breath, a warmth, a word gently placed in your mind. Trust it. That is me. Prayer is not a performance. It is communion. It is connection. Even if all you say is, Lord, I'm here, that is enough. And I respond every time. You are never ignored. Your age does not disqualify your prayers. In fact, your prayers carry a weight others cannot yet understand. They are seasoned with years of walking with me. They are laced with faith that has survived storm after storm. When you pray, heaven listens differently. The angels bow a little lower, because you speak not just from theory but from testimony. Let me tell you something sacred. Your quiet prayers shape eternity. You may feel small, unseen, tucked away from the hustle of life. But when you pray in faith, even in whispers, I move. I respond. You shift things in the spiritual realm when you pray. Do not underestimate this. The world may overlook you now, but the kingdom does not. Your words carry fire when they rise from a heart surrendered to me. So open your hands. Open your heart. Talk to me. Not just with requests, but with trust. Tell me your fears. Share your longings. Lay your doubts before me. I am not offended by your questions. I invite them. It is in that honesty that the seed begins to sprout. You do not need to be busy to be fruitful. You need to be still with me. That is where courage takes root. That is where faith expands. And that is where your strength is renewed. Not like in your youth, but with the kind of strength that lasts into eternity. A strength not based on muscle or energy, but on union with me. Some of you are still grieving. The loss of a spouse, a friend, the fading of memories. I see your pain. I gather every tear. And I ask you gently now, bring that grief to me. Don't hide it or push it away. Let it become the offering of your prayer. Even your sorrow can water the seed of courage if you let me hold it with you. You do not have to be cheerful to be faithful. You simply have to be open. I am not only the God of your joy, I am the God of your sorrow too. When you rest in me, when you sit in my presence even with no words, I begin to move within you. I begin to align your heart with mine. I whisper truths into your soul that you forgot. I restore the parts of you that felt worn thin. You begin to feel my peace again, my clarity, and yes, my courage. That seed begins to stir, to rise, to push against the soil of weariness, and soon it becomes something visible, calm in the chaos, hope in the struggle, peace in the unknown. This is your calling in this season, not to strive but to seek, not to run but to rest, to draw near to me in the quiet, to let me speak into your life every day, like a gentle rain falling on a thirsty field. Do not rush. Do not perform. Just be with me. That is more than enough. And remember, my child, courage is not a moment. It is a life. A rhythm of trust. A daily returning. You are not too late to begin again. You are not too old to feel my presence. You are not too weak to walk with me. In fact, you are perfectly placed for deeper communion. The distractions have quieted. The noise of ambition has faded. And now you can hear me like never before. So come, return to the quiet, and let me meet you there. I am waiting. I am ready. And so is your courage. My beloved, listen closely now, for I speak not to the version of yourself you try to present to others, but to the real you. The one who has carried burdens long after they grew heavy. The one who has tasted failure, disappointment, and sorrow. The one who still sometimes wonders if they are enough. Let me tell you plainly, you are not only enough, you are deeply, eternally covered by my grace. Yes, I see your weakness. I have always seen it. Not with judgment, but with compassion. I am not surprised by your stumbles. I am not shocked by your doubts. I am not turned away when you falter. My child, I knew you would face hard days. I knew age would weary your body, slow your steps, and bring with it seasons of loss and longing. But my grace, oh my grace, it is not weakened by your weakness. It is magnified in it. You may look back on your life and see places where you feel you failed, relationships that were broken, dreams that died too soon, mistakes you wish you could undo. And you carry those things like quiet weights, tucked into your soul. You think, surely I should have done better. Surely I should have been stronger. But I tell you now, let those burdens go. Did you not see that I was with you even then? Do you not know that I can redeem what you consider ruined? My grace is not only for the polished and perfect, it is for the weary, for the wounded, for the ones who tried and fell and still found the strength to call my name. And you did call my name. Even in your lowest moments when you didn't feel holy, when your prayers were more groans than words, I heard you. I was there. I am still there. You are not disqualified. You are not beyond reach. You are exactly where my grace does its deepest work. Some of you fear that it's too late to make a difference, that you missed the window to do something meaningful. But child, you do not measure time the way I do. You see minutes and years. I see eternity. And in eternity, one act of faithfulness today, even from a place of weakness, carries the weight of glory. When you get up one more time, even after you've fallen, when you choose to trust me despite what you've lost, that is strength the world cannot understand. Do not despise your setbacks. They have not ruined you. They have refined you. They have carved into you a softness that can finally receive my voice. They have taught you to lean on me, not just in crisis, but in every breath. You know now what others don't yet understand, that you need me, and I treasure that need. I respond to it. I am closest to the brokenhearted. You see, weakness is not the opposite of strength. Weakness is the doorway through which my strength enters. I told Paul long ago, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." And I say it again to you now. When you are weak, I am strong. When you are tired, I carry you. When you can't find the words, my spirit prays through you. Stop judging yourself for the days you can't do what you once could. You are not failing me. I do not love you for your productivity. I love you because I made you and you are mine. If your hands tremble, if your memory fades, if your voice is no longer loud, none of that matters to me. What matters is that your heart still turns toward me. And it does. Even now. I see how you carry the wounds of your past, things done to you and things you've done. But hear me. I do not define you by those wounds. I define you by my mercy. My Son bore every single weight on the cross, not so you would carry it forever, but so you could finally lay it down. This is what grace does. It lifts what you were never meant to carry. You may not have had the perfect journey. You may not feel like a spiritual giant, but you have kept going. And that matters more than you know. You got up when you didn't feel like it. You prayed when you had no answers. You stayed faithful when your strength was small. That is not failure, child. That is faith. I want you to see what I see. I see a warrior, not in the world's sense, but in the kingdom's way. I see someone who has endured storms and still whispers, Amen. I see someone who has faced death, loss, and grief, and still opens their heart to love again. That is sacred. That is holy. That is beautiful. So do not fear your fragility. Embrace it as the place where I am most fully present. I am not asking you to impress me. I am inviting you to receive from me, to let my grace wrap around your shame, your fears, your regrets, and to make something new. Grace is not the reward for the strong. It is the gift for the willing. And you, my child, have been willing far more often than you realize. So rest now in this truth. Every time you feel you've fallen short, I am there to lift you. Every step backward can be turned into a step closer to me. Every scar on your heart is known to me, and I carry no record of your failures, only the moments you turn to me again. Let grace be the soil in which your courage grows. Let it surround your weakness like morning mist. Let it speak louder than your fears. You are not a mistake. You are not a disappointment. You are deeply, forever, unconditionally loved. And I am not done with you yet. Not even close. My beloved child, you have walked long roads. Some have been smooth. Others have been steep, rocky, and shadowed by sorrow. You have known laughter and tears. You have felt the ache of goodbyes, the weight of time, and the quiet stretch of days that seem slower now. And still, you walk. Still, you rise each morning and put one foot in front of the other. That, my child, is not small. That is holy. I want you to know, step by step, I have been walking with you all along. I was there when you took your first breath, and I will be there when you take your last. But let me tell you something sacred. Even now, in this season of life, you are not walking toward the end. You are walking toward me. Every step is a step closer to home, a step deeper into the eternal strength I offer you. You may not move as quickly as you once did. Your body may groan. Your balance may falter. But child, the strength I give is not measured by muscle or stride. It is measured by trust. It is found in the footsteps you keep taking, even when it would be easier to sit down and stop. I honor every one of those steps. I strengthen each one. My spirit is the one beneath your feet, lifting you when you feel unsure, steadying you when you are afraid. You need not fear the path ahead. You are not walking into darkness. You are walking into glory, and I am lighting the way. Let me speak clearly now. Eternal strength is not something you must earn. It is something I give freely to those who walk with me. The strength to forgive. The strength to love again. The strength to believe that you still matter. The strength to speak truth when others have gone silent. These are the marks of a soul walking in my power. You have not outlived your usefulness. There is no expiration date on your value in my kingdom. In fact, the strength you carry now, the quiet, seasoned, time-tested strength, is one of the greatest treasures I can place in this world. You carry stories. You carry scars. You carry wisdom that has been refined in the fire of time. And I want to use it. Do not hide what you have learned. Do not think your testimony is too old, too faded, too irrelevant. Share it. Speak it. Pass it on. There are younger hearts who need to hear how you survived, how you trusted me when all seemed lost, how you kept the faith when your heart was breaking. That is strength, that is legacy, and that is holy work. Even your silence has meaning. Even your stillness carries power when it is surrendered to me. When you sit in my presence, when you breathe my name, when you rest in my promises, that is movement in my kingdom. That is walking in eternal strength, and it pleases me deeply. So don't rush, don't compare. Just keep walking with me, step by step. Whether your pace is strong or slow, every movement matters. Each breath you take in faith, each prayer you whisper in hope, is a stride forward in the Spirit. You may not always see where the path is leading, but you are not lost. You are being guided by the hand of the one who sees the end from the beginning. There will be days when the steps feel heavier, when pain visits your body or confusion clouds your mind. Do not be afraid of those days. I am just as close then. In fact, those are the days when I carry you. You may not feel the wind of my presence or hear my voice as clearly, but I am there, holding you, walking with you. Sometimes ahead of you, preparing the way. Sometimes behind you, guarding your steps. And sometimes right beside you, whispering, "Keep going, child. You are doing beautifully. Do not mistake slowness for weakness." In my kingdom, the faithful step is always stronger than the hurried sprint. It is not the speed of your walk, but the direction of your heart that matters most. And your heart is pointed toward me. I see it. I receive it. And I delight in it. You may ask, "Lord, what do I have left to offer you?" And I say to you, everything. You have your praise, your wisdom, your kindness, your prayer, your presence, your testimony, your tears. Every one of those offerings is a sweet aroma to me. None of it is wasted. Not one moment, not one word, not one act of quiet faithfulness. I am preparing a place for you, yes, but I am also preparing you for that place. And this journey even now is part of that preparation. The steps you take today are shaping the eternity you will soon step into. That is why I ask you to keep walking, not with fear, but with joy. Not with despair, but with hope. You are closer to my heart now than you've ever been. Every heartbeat of yours echoes in heaven. Every time you turn your face to me, even in weariness, I draw near. I am not counting your failures. I am counting your yeses. And every yes, no matter how quiet, is eternal. So come, walk with me, not just until the end of this life, but into forever. Walk with me through pain and peace, through memory and mystery. Walk with me through the pages of your story as they turn toward glory. I will not let you fall. I will not let you walk alone. My strength will carry you. My love will surround you. My grace will sustain you. This is not the end. This is the beginning of forever. So take my hand, lift your head, and keep walking. You are almost home, and I am waiting.